I don't know how to start this without my hands shaking again, but I need to tell someone, anyone, because keeping this inside my chest feels like holding a live wire underwater. I'm writing this from my phone, sitting on the floor of my living room, all the lights on, every door locked twice, and yet my heartbeat still sounds like footsteps approaching from the hallway. If anyone reads this, just know this isn't a horror story, not in the supernatural sense at least. It's worse. It's real. And it's happening to me. I live alone. That's the first thing you need to understand. Alone, as in no roommates, no partner, no kids, no visiting relatives. My life is quiet, painfully predictable, the kind of routine that should feel safe but now feels like it made me the perfect target. I'm not special. I'm not rich. I'm not involved in anything shady. I'm just a normal guy who works at a boring place, buys the same groceries every week, and sleeps at the same time almost every night. Or, I used to sleep. I haven't closed my eyes properly in weeks. All of this started with tiny details. Too tiny to register at first. A mug slightly moved from its usual place. A towel folded differently. My keys placed an inch away from where I remembered leaving them. Small enough that I blamed myself. Memory lapse, carelessness, tiredness from work. You know the excuses you give when you don't want to believe something else is happening. But things don't stay small forever. One morning, I found my bedroom window unlocked. I never leave it unlocked. In fact, I have a habit, my anxiety coping habit, of checking locks 3 times before sleeping. So finding it open made my throat go dry. I stood there, staring at it, telling myself I must have forgotten. I tried to believe it. I really tried. But a part of me whispered, "No, you didn't forget." Then items started disappearing. Socks at first. Small things. Then a USB drive. Then one of my notebooks. I started counting objects before leaving the house like some insane ritual, 3 pens on the table, 2 chargers on the couch, 1 wallet in the drawer. Nothing dramatic. Just basics. But when 1 pen shifted by the time I came home, enough panic seeped into my bones that I couldn't sit still for hours. But the day everything changed, truly changed, was the morning I found the photograph. It was lying on my kitchen counter, placed gently as if someone didn't want to damage it. A printed photograph, glossy, new, without a crease. And the picture was of me. Sleeping. In my own bed. My back slightly curled, blanket half off, my hand hanging from the edge of the mattress, exactly how I sleep. The timestamp was printed in the corner. It was 2 nights earlier, which meant someone had been inside my house. In my bedroom, standing close enough to capture my face in the dim light. The air left my lungs so fast I got dizzy. I dropped the photo, stumbled backward, hit the fridge, and slid to the floor. My hands were shaking so violently I couldn't dial 911 properly. I kept pressing the wrong numbers. When I finally reached them, my voice was barely audible. The police came. They didn't find anything. No fingerprints. No signs of forced entry. No shoe prints. No cameras. No broken locks. No extra keys hidden somewhere. Nothing. It's like the person wasn't physically here. They asked if I made the photo myself. Printed it in my office. Did it for attention. A prank. A breakdown. Something. I told them I didn't even own a printer. They didn't believe me. They left. And that night, I didn't sleep. Imagine closing your eyes in the same room where someone stood inches away from you while you were unconscious. Imagine thinking maybe they touched you. Maybe they whispered something you didn't hear. Maybe they came closer than the camera captured. That fear becomes a living thing. And it eats. The next morning, another thing happened. A note appeared on my bathroom mirror. I froze when I saw it because I know for a fact I didn't leave anything there. And this handwriting was so neat it looked almost practiced. The note simply said, "You leave the tap dripping every night." Why? I stared at it for a solid minute. I don't leave anything dripping. I am hyper careful about water usage. And the handwriting didn't belong to anyone I know. I tore it apart and flushed it. 3 days later, another note. You talk in your sleep. Do you know what you say? My spine felt like ice. I tore that note too. But the third one. The third note broke me. You look peaceful when you're unaware. If only you stayed like that. I sat on the bathroom floor for an hour, shaking. I kept looking around at the corners of the room, half expecting someone to step out. My house suddenly felt foreign, like the walls were watching me. I didn't want to shower. I didn't want to brush my teeth. I didn't want to turn my back to the door. I bought new locks. I installed indoor cameras. I checked them every hour. But he must have known. Because the fourth note was taped directly to the tiny camera in my hallway. You're trying, but I'm better. I don't remember how long I stood there staring. The camera had stopped recording at 3:11 a.m. Just stopped. The note was covering it perfectly. That night I slept with a knife under my pillow. Then the dreams started. Dreams of footsteps in my hallway. Dreams of someone sitting on the edge of my bed. Dreams of breathing close to my ear. Dreams of someone whispering, "Don't move. Just sleep." But they didn't feel like dreams. Because I would wake up with my blanket folded differently. Or my pillow slightly moved. Or my phone placed on the wrong side of the bed. One morning, my bedroom door was wide open. I sleep with it closed. Then one night, at around 2:40 a.m., I heard something. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just breathing. Slow, controlled breathing from the hallway. I sat up slowly. My heart was beating fast, but my body felt frozen. I grabbed the knife. Then I heard footsteps. Soft. Careful. Intentional. Someone was inside. This was real. I dialed 911 with trembling fingers. But as soon as I pressed call, the footsteps stopped. Just like that. The operator picked up. I whispered that someone was inside my home. They said officers were on the way. But then, my front door slammed. Not closed. Slammed. The whole house shook. When the police arrived, they searched again. Nothing. No person. No signs of forced exit. Nothing stolen. Nothing broken. Yet it felt like someone had been there seconds before. But the biggest shock was waiting on my bed. A final note. Written differently this time. Not neat. Not calm. But jagged. Angry. Written with pressure so deep it ripped through the paper. You weren't supposed to wake up. I couldn't stay there anymore. I packed a bag and went to a friend's place for a few nights. I didn't tell him the truth. I said I was renovating. I didn't want to sound insane. But 2 days later, something happened at his place too. He found a photograph under his welcome mat. A photograph of me. sleeping in his guest room from last night, which I had locked, and which he didn't enter. The timestamp was accurate. Someone had followed me. Someone had watched me sleep in his house too. He freaked out. Told me I needed help. Told me to go to the police again. Told me I was cursed. Haunted. Something. Anything. But I don't think this is a ghost. Ghosts don't write notes. Ghosts don't move mugs slightly to gaslight you. Ghosts don't print photographs. Ghosts don't follow you across the city. Ghosts don't slam doors. Ghosts don't breathe. Someone is doing this. Someone who has been in my house so many times they know every sound it makes. Someone who knows how often I check locks, how I sleep, when I dream, how I breathe. Someone who was there long before I noticed. Someone who doesn't want me awake. I haven't gone home in 5 days. But tonight, when I checked my phone, I had a new notification. A photo. Sent via Bluetooth. Even though Bluetooth was off. The picture was taken 1 hour ago. Of me. Sitting on my friend's couch. Writing this confession. And in the blurry background, just behind my shoulder, you can see half a face, smiling, watching me write. And now I don't know where to go. I don't know what he wants. I don't know how long he has been doing this. I don't know how many nights he was inches away from me. I don't know what happens when he decides I wake up again. I don't know if posting this is a mistake. But if anything happens to me after this, you'll know I wasn't hallucinating. And he was real.